Right there. Very good morning to you if you just joined us here on the show. And thanks for staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into News Flash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, Still Phones, Papa Pathie. A big thank you to Kowa Natural Fruit Juice, also supporting this morning as well. I'll tell you more about Kowa Natural. But of course, you want to walk into any of our branches, and I'm talking about Franco Trading Enterprise and all the beautiful things that we're giving to Ghanaians. If it comes to your home appliances, the best bet is always Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, guess what? We've got your air conditionings, we've got your phones, we've got your microwaves, we've got your blenders, we've got your CCTV cameras, and all that big television you want to have in your rooms, we've got them. All you need to do is to just walk into our branches and also enjoy some discounts that we're giving to you as well. Franco Trading Enterprise is nationwide, and you can download the app. It's Franco Trading app, and you can get all the details you need in terms of where to buy from and what you can buy. You can also get our numbers over there, and do call us as well. Please do not pick phone numbers on social media to do business with us. Go on our website, www.francotrading.com, and you can get all the numbers you need to be able to interact with us. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Pathie, and we're excited about all that Franco Trading Enterprise is doing for the people of Ghana, and you can also enjoy. Don't forget that we give some discount as well. We've got phone accessories that you can also buy from us as well. So yes, Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Pathie, and that's what you need. You want to also discover the authentic taste of Ghana by always making sure that you've got Kowa food, natural fruit juice with you anytime you decide to quench your thirst. It's the best on the market right about now. Don't forget, it's proudly made right here in Ghana, and it means that any one that you purchase go a long way to also motivate the Ghanaian cocoa farmer. And it's very healthy, so please do well to incorporate that in your activities during the day, and you'll never regret it. It's Kowa Natural Fruit Juice is what you need for your beautiful moment that you're going to be having today. So please do go ahead and receive the right sip by sip, and it's exactly what you need. This morning, we're taking our attention to a couple of issues that have come up that would interest you as well. You can join us on social media by going on our Facebook. We're streaming live over there, so like the page, and you get to also drop your comments over there in the comment section and let us know what you think about the conversation that we're having here on the show. You can also do so by sending us a WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp line is always active. All you have to do is to just go there and share your thought with us here on the show. We'll be getting into the front page of the newspapers as always, and then we'll get into our major issues. Now, we're protecting state lands and no public land to be allocated without lands minister's approval. That's one of the issues that we'll be looking at this morning here on the show. The lands minister has actually spoken with regards to how lands are allocated in this country or are bought in this country. There have been some reforms that would ensure that before any land is given to any individual by way of purchase, that land would have to go through some very rigorous, processes before the approval is given. We'll be looking at that here on the show. And also, it dovetails into the issue of tree planting with the Ghana Tree Crops Development Authority, led by Dr. Andy, has actually put a policy that will make cultivation of tree crops mandatory for public servants. We'll be looking at that also briefly, and then we'll get into the major conversation that we'll have this morning is the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bills, the LGBTQ issue that has been put before Parliament. Now the Speaker has given a green light for the debates for the second time to happen. We'll look at that. The promises that were made under these, law and the bill as at, last 2 years, and what really is going to be happening in the Parliament House this time around, if indeed we're going to go through this for it to become a law. We'll be looking at that conversation also here on the show as well. So these are the three things we'll be looking at. But The first two will be just brief, and then we'll get into the major one, which is the LGBTQ situation. So yes, you might want to also send your messages to us and let us know. My guest will be seated as always, and we'll get into the conversation. But let me quickly run through the front pages of the various newspapers that we have here, and then we'll get into it. Like I said, you can also join us on our Facebook page. You can also join us on Twitter. You can also join us on our WhatsApp line, which is active, and let us know what you think about it. The front page of the Daily Graphic is what I have right now, and it says that government pays 10 billion Ghana cedis DDEP interest, and victims of jihadist attack expected to be evacuated. Page 13 has got a story on that. Trade Ministry seeks strategic investor to revive Commander Sugar Factory, and AAG demands clarity over billboard demolition exercise. That is the Advertising Association of Ghana, who is embarking on this very, situation that has happened. I've seen some of the billboards that have been demolished, and that's what the president is speaking on. Now, the Rigu residents welcome lifting of curfew. That's also captured on the back page of the Daily Graphic. New Hajj village to be completed end of year. And also, that's captured by the Daily Graphic this morning. Let me go to the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times says, Burkina Faso fatal attack. President Mahama orders evacuation of injured traders. Page 12 has got a story on that. Mofa Fowry signed a landmark deal to digitize Agric, and police arrest suspected cop killer. That's page 10, also has the story on that. IGP AG moved to compensate multimedia journalists after 8 years, and that's Latif Idrissu's situation. Finally, we're getting some closure on that as well. And the Ghanaian publisher is speaking on a few issues, including the Burkina killings. And it says, Intim Forjo calls for swift action. And Mofa Fowry signed deal to digitize Agric. The big story over here, obviously, will be the cocoa situation. Cocoa price reduction. Afenyo market demands reversal. And gold board holds selected gold buying license applications. That's also captured by the Ghanaian publisher this morning. Kariminga barrier attack. Murder suspect rearrested. Page 3 has got a story on that as well. And that will be the Ghanaian publisher. Away from that, let's get to the New Finder. The New Finder on the front page says bond market activity turnover drops to 2.27 billion Ghana cedis. That's captured by the New Finder. Youth underemployment providing temporary relief for Ghana's economy, labor experts, and trade and tourism ministers push Fugu industry expansion. And it's supposed to be Fugu Wednesday, which has been declared by the president. In fact, His Excellency John Mahama, every other person that you said is supposed to be wearing Fugu on Wednesdays did not, except me. And please put this on record, Your Excellency, and let it be known that I am the only person that heeded to your call for us to wear Fugu on Wednesdays. In fact, my guests in the studio have no Fugu on them. And one of them is representing the NDC, which of course is led by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. So His Excellency, this should actually warrant a visit to the Jubilee House. If not today, any other day that you want me to come, please let me come. In fact, the whole of Ghana, I'm the only person that is wearing Fugu on a Wednesday, which you said we should. So I'm the only person that's heeded to your call for us to wear Fugu on Wednesdays. Your Excellency, please take this serious. Please, Your Excellency, take this serious. And they will explain to me why they did not wear your Fugu that you said we should wear on Wednesday. Don't worry, they will explain. Yes, I'll make sure they explain. 30 to 45% of locally grown tomatoes spoil annually, and that's the New Finder. The custodian is here, and it says Gold Board puts on hold buying license applications, and Minority Leader louts Baumia's post-primary unity drive. Suspected killer of police officer at Zimila arrested. And the Sunyuni launches 1 million Ghana City fund to support 5,000 women entrepreneurs. And Innovatech STEM students shine at Ghana's first robotic dining. That's also captured by the custodian. The last one will be the Economic Times, and it says bank lending rates fall in response to latest BOG benchmark interest rate cuts, and renewed leadership spearheads sprinter pace reform agenda at the Energy Commission. GCB Bank prepares to launch non-interest banking window. All right, so that's also captured by the Economic Times this morning. Pretty much that'll be all for the newspapers this morning here on News Flash, and it brings us to our next major conversation, which is the issues that I've mentioned, the LGBTQ issue, and also we'll look at the protecting of lands by the Ministry. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have actually brought some reforms that would ensure that every approval of lands would go through some very rigorous process before they are sold to people. Ghana Tree Crops Development Authority is also speaking on the issue of making sure the cultivation of tree crops becomes mandatory for public servants. We'll look at that also briefly. Dr. Andy is in charge of that authority, and he's been also speaking about a few things that they've put in place. Now, promotion of the LGBTQ issue for the second time in Parliament would also be looked at this morning. Do well and send your messages, and we'll be reading all of them here on the show. I've been joined this morning in studio by Senyo Amekplenu. He's a communications team member for the NPP. Senyo, how are you doing?
I'm doing
in your African way?
I'm doing okay, MJ. How are you doing too? I'm doing well. How are you doing too?
I'm good.
I like your kind of fugu. It's been a while I saw this type of fugu, and mostly I see it on
the other ones.
Yeah, so it's good seeing you in your fugu, and it's representing.
I'm a listening citizen.
I think I could see majority of the colors reflects our country, so you look good this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And please let it be known that I'm the only person
in Fugu today. I honestly speaking, I think that I completely forgot that today is
Fugu Wednesday. You forgot.
I was cautioned.
Your president says you should wear Wednesday, Fugu on Wednesday. You say you forgot. That's not an excuse.
Even if
it's not,
those within the government are unable to even wear, how much more me, who is not even. So it tells you that such a directive is not one of those that we should take serious. But again, I think that it's good for us to, consider the wearing of fugu, not on just Wednesdays. I think it's an everyday thing we do at times. This has been the practice. So for me, the directive or that release that was issued, I think 2 weeks ago or last week, asking us to be wearing it every Wednesday, for me, it was not needed. What the government could have done was, advise us or caution us to, continue to wear fugu to promote the fugu. But because today, I can tell you, last week, I noticed that a lot of the appointees, were trying to, showcase their fugu that they've won, even in Parliament. I told myself that I'll wait for the next 1 month. The first person's office I will go to on Wednesday to check will be the minister who issued the statement. And I can tell you that you'll be here, I'll bring the evidence to you. She will not wear the fugu. Not to talk of even some of the appointees. So for me, Honorable
Jifar, she will. That's no,
I mean,
no, don't go there.
I don't want
as
to
for Honorable Jifar Ablagomashi,
don't
go there. That's my boss.
I know. Issuing that statement because I am a fan of fugu. I wear fugu. If you've noticed me, I wear fugu often. So I just feel that it was not needed. For me today, the reason why I didn't wear fugu is that I was cautioned that the fugu, in fact, I need to change. Some of them, they are bringing me new ones, so...
You don't have enough. Anyway, thank you for your time this morning, by the way. We've also been joined in studio by Dr. Sameh Aye. He's here with me as presidential aide. Sameh, how is it going, Doc? It's been a while.
Yes.
Doc has been very busy. I know, Doc has been extremely busy. I don't see Doc anymore like I used to.
You see me from now.
How's it going?
Oh, by God's grace. Small. You're managing.
You also, can you explain, or how do they even say this? Or you do, is it something or you can explain?
Oh, I can actually, yesterday I sustained a little cut.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I couldn't expose the way you have exposed it, definitely.
Okay.
But last week I wore it.
Okay.
I'm hoping that by next week, The case would have healed and I'll be able to.
Yeah.
We respect the directive that has been given.
Absolutely.
I'm quite surprised how my brother has resorted to pettiness and casting a slur on public officials who have done what they have been directed to do. You rightfully defended Madam Jafar Blagomashi.
Oh yes, that's I know she would. She always has
definitely
one food. It can even be a list or something, one of the, and then she will put it on. As for her,
definitely. It has been announced that we are expecting that. The people of Ghana will show. Solidarity, will show interest in promoting our culture. If by any reason you think that because it is in the light of the new government, and the new government will take, the accolades from the people, and because of that, you are not going to wait. It's up to you. But we are encouraging you, my brother, to also join the fray and see how things will go. So let me say a good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my brother Senyo, and good morning to your good self.
Very well. Thank you very much for making time for us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Here on the show. And like I said, you can also join us on our WhatsApp line. We're streaming live on Facebook as well. You can also go there and leave your messages on X. You can also leave your messages over there as well. We'll be reading all of them here on the show. And we want to start off with the issue of the protecting state lands. Now, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, has announced the cancellation of all uncompleted public land transactions initiated between 2017 and 2024 that failed to meet due process requirements, alongside a raft of sweeping reforms aimed at restoring integrity, transparency, and value for money in the administration of public lands. And it goes on, it says, addressing the media, the minister described the move as a critical milestone in a collective effort to strengthen integrity, transparency, and accountability in the administration of public lands, which are held in trust for the people of Ghana. And it goes on, it says, the minister recalled that on January 10, 2025, President John Mahama directed the Lands Commission to immediately halt all activities relating to the lease and processing of transactions involving public lands. And this is the presidential directive that came as at that time. And it followed with the committee review as well. Doc, this was one of the things that the president was very worried about.
Yes.
Right from the onset, when he took, office, he believed that there were certain things that were done in terms of our lands, that were not right, that had to be looked at. So far, we're making some progress, aren't we?
Yes, of course we are. And I want to use this platform to commend the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources for this directive, for this initiative, all in the interest of the people of Ghana, all in the interest of this country. And I am extremely, extremely happy about it. This is indeed the reset that the people of Ghana were promised, and I'm happy about it. You see, we have reached a point in our lives as a country that we need to show love, concern, and be patriotic to our country. The country is certainly not for sale. Over the last 8 years, we all saw what happened in this country. How does a land become a state land? They were lands that were owned by families. They were lands.
Servants?
No.
Ordinary
Public
people.
lands, state lands, what we call state lands. They were initially not state lands. They became state lands because the state or any agent of the state requested that in the interest of states, in the interest of public, some lands are supposed to be leased for the purposes of, state activities. You understand?
So,
exactly. So they were leased from some families, some traditional authorities, some traditional rulers, clans, and what have you. The whole idea was that they were thinking that in the interest of states, these lands are supposed to be leased for projects that will benefit everyone. So if you have a situation where the intention or the intent of the use of the land has not been realized, what do? Either you send it back to those you took it from, or you wait until
there's a purpose for it.
There's a purpose for it. But we have seen over the years situations where, because of some people's political connection, they have had access to lands at a cost that are like 0.001% of the actual value of the land. We have seen lands that are being sold in cantonments for $500,000 because a person has political exposure, political connection. They are being sold to them at 160,000 cedis. From $500,000 to $10,000 to $12,000 because they have political connection. We were in this country. Before we could blink an eye, the Achimota Reserve that we all know is a forest reserve. Some individuals had their personal reserves in those forests. They have even willed to their family members. Just because they occupied, and I'm talking about the Sir John issue, just because they occupied a political position in government. Look, the judicial service, do you know they are in court? They are in court because some of their bungalows that they are supposed to give to their staff, their lands have been sold to private investors. And they are being dragged and forced out of their own bungalows. How did those private investors go through the processes to be given those lands?
And this was done under the former...
Definitely. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying that the allocation of public lands or state lands are not good. The point I'm making is that due process. How is it that only people who are politically connected, people who know one or two people in government, are the ones who are getting access to those lands? We have seen a situation where Tema Community 24, TDC, their lands, almost 30% of them were leased to people who had Oforiata as part of their needs, who are connected to the former finance minister. And the videos are there. When you go on social media, you see it. TDC, they mentioned 10 acres. Madam Oforiata, Mr. Oforiata, this Oforiata, because they are connections to Mr. Oforiata. Foreign ministry, their lands. And when we came there, the foreign minister told the whole country that, but for their swift intervention, lands belonging to foreign ministry were about to be leased or given to some private investors because they had connections to people in government. DVLA lands and what have you. Northern Development Authority. And so it was a whole agenda to capture the state's property owning mentality. And you see, we need to get a right political culture in this country. Look, when people vote for us, they vote for politicians to serve, to lead the way, to show love for country, to show compassion. We must not use that opportunity to have undue advantage on properties that belong to states and manage it in a manner only to our benefit. That is what we must not encourage as a country. And so I am happy that President Mahama gave that directive on 10th January 2025, that all processes concerning the allocation of state land should be halted. Yesterday, a few days ago, I heard the lands minister say that from now, the lands ministry or under the lands commission will compile a reliable data on market values for defined land clusters across the country to serve as reference points. What it means is that we should not be seeing a situation where a land in cantonments valued at $800,000 will not be sold to somebody at $10,000 only because they have political connection. And we saw that on many counts in the previous administration. On many counts.
And this is something that your administration is ready to stop?
Definitely. In fact, they have had cabinet approval on that, and the minister rightfully demonstrated it. He has given directives to that the lands ministry itself, the lands ministry, the lands commission will now take steps to have all these reforms so that the people of Ghana are not shortchanged by a few to their personal benefit. That will not be done. I've also heard the minister say that the way and manner the Lands Commission were doing this, in terms of their internal arrangements, how they allocate the lands, have not been consistent over the years. And so now a directive has been given that no state land should be allocated without the approval of the lands minister. And I'm extremely aware.
We can strictly go by that.
Definitely.
Very well that the former administration
definitely.
And your party would be ready to go.
Definitely. In fact,
strictly by that.
Yes, in fact, the minister has also indicated that some of the processes that are currently ongoing and are not done and have not followed all the strict processes have been cancelled. Ones that have already been regularized. But if certain processes went through and they did not follow the procedures, they will be reviewed, and if there is a need for them to be cancelled, they will be cancelled. Okay. That is a true commitment to what the president has directed, and I believe that it will go in the interest of this country. You see, these families that lease all these lands to the states, they could have also benefited from it. Imagine if the Owu family had not leased the Achimota forest to the states. Do you know the value of money they would have made from it? Millions of dollars, because that is a prime land in this country. A prime land, millions of dollars. But because of love for states, they have been able to do this for the benefit of, say, why should only a few individuals, because they have political connection, be the ones to benefit from it? Why should somebody have the opportunity to lease certain portions of Achimota forest to himself so that he can actually will it to his nephews and nieces when he or she dies? That is not the right political culture we want to have in our country. And I'm happy that the president has actually directed all his appointees that nobody should go near any state land. We want to set the proper precedence. We want to chart the right path so that the people of Ghana can have confidence in the politicians they vote for. So I'm happy that the directive has been given, and we will definitely comply. But we need the right political culture, that will show compassion, that will show love, patriotism. And I believe that President Mahama has demonstrated that beyond doubt as far as state properties and state land are concerned.
Very well. Thank you very much. Doc, join us this morning. Dr. Sami Aye is here with us this morning. And so you can also share your thought with us. Our WhatsApp line is active. We're streaming live on Facebook as well. You can also go there. I'll be reading some of your messages on Facebook. I'll try as much as possible and do that today. Senyo.
Yeah. Well, first of all, good morning to you, and good morning to my brother Sami. And a special good morning to the good people of Ghana, and a good morning to the good people of the Volta region and my party people. The issue of reforms at the land ministry or the land within the land sector, when you ask me, I think that whatever that is being introduced is not really much in terms of any novelty. And I say this because I feel that the reset in terms of the land sector is just the same thing that is going to happen. If I look at the reforms that the minister stated, I think he outlined about 6 to 7 reforms. Now, in these reforms, let me first of all say that in the last regime of the NDC, it has been a norm within all political divides, both NDC and NPP. I will not sit here and be holier than doubt. We have all resorted to the usual political affiliations, and by means of your affiliation, we get the opportunity to have these state lands at a cheaper cost. The NDC, for me, I think that in as much as we all want a reform, they should not make it look as if this is the first time this thing is happening. Because if I recall, between 2009 to 2016, your outfit, Joy News, even reported about 416 people or individuals affiliated to the NDC who actually took the opportunity to, get state land, to have access to state lands. And this was done between that period of 2009 to 2016, and it was your outfit that reported that. Now, beyond that, there were key members of their government, the likes of Honorable Makwo Yongo, the likes of Betty Mude Idrisu. These were people who were taking over the cantonment land, the East Legon switchback land, the North Ridge land, and it became a topical issue. And I know when you go on the portal, you see it. But in this case, I do not want to go into the political football. I want to look at the reforms and how good it will be to us, or how good it will serve us as a country. Because I think that as a country, we should rise above the politicization of issues. It is one of the reasons why we are not growing as a country. And for me, as a young person, I am always looking forward where I will have a discourse with my colleagues devoid of politics. However, where I feel that I am being, pushed to the wall, then what it means is that I need to play the same football. Now, the minister talked about the fact that the key reforms include the standardization, we standardize public land application form. There should be a stricter internal controls at the Lands Commission. As it stands today, what it means is that there are no stricter, internal control measures as far as the Land Ministry or the Land Commission is concerned. Now, legislative backings for reforms, which I think I support 100%. Increase in public land premiums that previously ranged from 1% to 30%, now to minimum of 70% of assessed market value. And that is one key place I'm going to talk about. You are increasing something that used to be 1% to 30%, is now being moved to 70%. Then he also talked about the publication of market value data. Then he also talked about Public Land Protection Task Force established. For me, the Public Land Protection Task Force being established is just like what we've been seeing, the Langards. Then they will be beating people, what
is this not going to be a more regularized one?
Yeah,
since it's coming from the ministry.
So I think that one of the issues I want to talk about, which has to be the land premiums, which is moving from between the 1 to 30%, that is being moved to 70%. Sincerely speaking, when you ask me, I think we are going to repeat what we are seeing today. Because when it happens like that, you are giving opportunity to the rich to continue to have access, and even those who have political connections. For example, a market value of 70%, where you know very well that in cantonment, the market value over there is volatile. I can't access it. There's somebody who cannot access it. But maybe Sammy, by virtue of the fact that he has a political connection, by virtue of the fact that he has the money purse, he would have that advantage over me, because I am just an ordinary Ghanaian. I do not have that political connection. I do not have that purse, that fat purse that will be able to, buy that land in cantonment. So for me, increasing the market value to that amount, it only benefits just a class of people.
Then at least the state is making money from the
you see when it happens like that, one of the things that will happen is that affordable housing will be affected. What is affordable housing? You have the same people buying the same land, the rich buying the same land, and now converting it into affordable housing. You and I will not be able to buy. Do you know why? Because the market value, in terms of the amount they bought it will be transferred onto the selling price. And that would be outrageous for you and I to buy. So for me, I think that the whole reform is a good call. But government must know that this is not about NPP. Neither is it about what? It is about all of us. A government should not make it look as if probably it is just the NPP in the last 8 years. I think that in the last 20 years, we have not done much as far as our land reforms are concerned. And I'm even looking beyond just the land commission. We should even regulate our building projects. There should be a way where we should make good use. If you come to Greater Accra or Accra Rana, there are not enough lands. I have to buy somebody's building, demolish it, and rebuild it. I think that we need to regulate and put proper legislative instruments in place that will control some of these things, especially when you go to a place like East Legon Hills, where buildings have just started, springing up. Because there is land tenancy issue, I think that there should be an agreement where we should now start looking at high-rising building so that everybody can have access. Now, my proposal is that I think that all these reforms are good. However, there should be a parliamentary committee review. As far as the commission is concerned, there should be an oversight that will have the parliamentary committee review to play its role as far as the proposals are concerned. Again, I also think that there should be a periodic audit as far as the Lands Commission is concerned. How often do we hear that the Auditor General has audited the Lands Commission? We don't hear that. I'm also looking at a situation whereby public land, allocation dashboard will be accessible to the public. So that when I go to the public land allocation dashboard, all I need to do is to go to the Lands Commission website, click on the public land allocation dashboard, get to know that, okay, I want to buy land in cantonment close to the free zones, but the land over there has already been assessed by Dr. Sam Aye, so I cannot have access to it. And again, they should also be transparent in terms of the market value so that we know that there is some sort of transparency that is within the sector. Again, another thing that I think is very important we need to look at is this whole thing that I've said. It's going to kill the affordable housing issue. It's also going to, kill or block small developers. Because if you are not a big developer, if I am just a new person who is now entering into the real estate industry, what it means is that because I do not have the quantum of money to buy land at Northridge Airport or wherever, in terms of those, areas, what it means is that as a beginner, I cannot have access to those land. But somebody who has the heavier pocket will be able to have access to it. So I think the government ought to look at some of these proposals very well in terms of the market value, the land premium value. Government ought to look at it.
The whole idea of this is to ensure that people don't just take advantage of the lands and pay just any money for them. Because at the end of the day, it's still the value that you're giving to whatever plot of land or the person is buying. So if there are people who can equally give us the right amount of money that a certain land in a certain area or prime area is supposed to be bought, is that not what we're probably supposed to be encouraging? Because at the end of the day, that money is bought, that land is bought for the right value of it.
That is true. This reform is to streamline things.
Yeah, so if somebody has the money and
you know that
the state the amount of money that land deserves to be paid for, is that not what we probably should be encouraging?
I agree with you. However, in every reforms, there are definitely loopholes. Even in our constitution, that we think that is guiding us as a country, there are lacunas in it. So I'm of the view that yes, the reforms, we welcome the reforms. However, I think that there are one or two things that ought to be looked at critically again. We need transparency in terms of buying public lands. That is why there is the need for the dashboard, the allocation of dashboard, so that when I go there There's transparency. I don't need to now go and be doing any whistle blowing or whatever for everybody to see that this person. No, it is not needed. Let me tell you, just recently when they have this car racing in a Boteman, when I got there, I took the opportunity to go to the backyard. I can tell you today, on authority, that the place is being encroached. And when you ask, who are those encroaching that place? You will not know them. But if you do your checks very well, you get to know that those people are highly connected people to any of the political device. So for me, if we are bringing stringent measures to control these things, we need to make sure that there are no loopholes. The loopholes are that one, the 70% increment, it is going to give up an advantage to one group of people. The one group of people, one, definitely the political connection cannot be taken out. Two, the heavy pockets cannot be left out. Because if my money is big, for example, when you go to East Legon, there are some group of people that the whole of East Legon, if you have not seen anything at all, at least not more than 30 houses, it belongs to those group of people. What it means is that they own the money to buy. You and I can't. Unless God bless me and I have access to that kind of money. And I'm saying that we are pleading with the lands minister that he should consider the percentage increment so that the ordinary Ghanaian will not suffer at the expense of heavy pockets.
Okay. And then you also mentioned the issue of transparency.
Yeah.
So number 5 of the points that the minister put together says, publication of market value data. Now it says to enhance transparency, which is something that you mentioned severally. The Ministry and Lands Commission will compile and publish reliable market value data for defined land clusters nationwide. Now the data will serve as a reference for assessing premiums and ensuring objective, predictable decision making. Will this not solve the problem that you're talking about in terms of transparency? Like they should publish it on the dashboard for everybody to see it and say, okay, this is what is available. This is how much this is going for. This is how much this premium is going for. This is how much that this place is also going for. Will they not solve entirely that problem?
So like I indicated, I never disagreed with it. However, I only felt that there are some few things that need to be looked at critically. And I think that if we all, come on the same pace or the same stage, we will be able to, achieve what we want to achieve as a country. So for me, the transparency thing is a key factor, which has to do with
something that you are very
exactly because it's been one of the major issues that is being talked about, that we see people, especially the politically connected, who go behind the doors just to have access to lands and all of that. I think that if we are able to, create room for transparency, this thing will be a thing of the past, and as a country, we'll move freely, and there will be no issue of I have intercepted this document, this person has bought this land, that person has bought this land. There will not be any report regarding any of these things. Because, like I said earlier, if you compare both administrations, none of them is a cent. The NPP is not a cent. The NDC can never be holier than thou. We are all in it. But what we need to do going forward is that let's, look at the measures that are being proposed. How do we accept them and work with those proposals to strengthen going forward for the benefit of all? More importantly, not just the elite. More importantly, not just the elite, but to the ordinary Ghanaians, because the ordinary Ghanaian is the first point of call when it comes to, housing issue. I want to believe that you agree with me on that tangent. And so for me, I think that if all of these things are done, I'll be one person that would take on my handle to commend the minister. The parliamentary committee review is also key. So I think that they should consider some of these things that I've added.
Very well. I'll be reading some of your messages very soon, but I'm sure Doc wants to respond.
Yes, I think that with just a few clarifications. I think that with the issue of the premium charges, it is to ensure that there is value for money. There are so many lands in the country. Why would you want to buy a state land? So when you want to buy a state land, the threshold must be high. They were charging 1 to 30%, and the 70% is spread over so many years.
Yeah, for the person to pay.
Land's value appreciates year after year. So the minister is trying to say that Now you need to pay 70%.
It's more like a turnaround of the previous.
Pay the 70%.
And spread the others.
So that the country can have maximum benefit from your decision to buy estate land for your use. So that the 30% will be spread over several years. But at the time you are done with that, there is actual value for money as compared to you paying 30% and paying the remaining 70% over years. When the value of the land had appreciated about 1,000%. Because it would take several years to pay 70%, more than paying 30%. That is what the minister is saying. There are so many lands. Why do you want to buy estate land? There are so many lands in Ghana. And so the thresholds for buying estate land must actually be high. And I think there is more than enough transparency as far as this matter is concerned. We're having a situation where the Lands Commission and the Lands Ministry itself will publish for all of us to see the valuation of particular lands in particular clusters of this country. That's transparent. That is the way we need to go as a country. For me, I'm happy about this, and like I've always said, we need to get the right political culture. The right political culture. We must not use the opportunity that me as I sit here, I will not go and buy a state land. I will not. I will not buy a state land. There are so many lands in Ghana. Why do you want to buy a state land? You understand the point I'm making? So, personally, I'm not enthused by the idea of going behind some people to do things to acquire a state land for your private use. You can get lands anywhere else in this country. You understand that? So we must not use the opportunity we have to have an undue advantage on properties belonging to the state. We must not encourage that in this country. We must not.
Okay, there were. Let me see if I can do a few messages. If I have some few messages to do, then we can just quickly look at the next topic and then we'll move on. I think we've got two of them to do, but this one will be very brief. The Ghana Tree Crops Development Authority's decision to ensure that cultivation of tree crops is mandatory for public servants. In fact, it's one of the things that many people have said that it's a good call because of our, planting nature in this country. We rather want to cut more than to plant. So that's one of the issues that we've been battling with over the period. But let me see, can I get the messages? If we have the messages, let me read a few of the messages so that we move on to the next conversation. At least it would help us also engage the viewers a bit because the next conversations are very heated ones. So let's see how we can just rub in the viewers. This one says, good morning. I am Okai from Mantama in the Senyo West District. The Anti-LGBT Bill is about our national values, not party colors. If the NDC used it to attack the NPP while in opposition, now is the time for them to act. Ghanaians are watching. The history will judge them if they fail. You cannot use such a serious matter to score political points and then go silent when you gain power. Leadership is about action, not slogans. Okay, he's already gotten into the LGBT conversation even before we get there, but we'll be starting that conversation very soon. This one says, I saw a video of Dr. Baumia over the weekend quoting Psalm 23 verse 118:12. And I was asking myself, which Bible was he quoting from? Because there's nowhere you can find this quotation in our Christian Bible. In fact, it's a disgrace to his personality and the entire NPP political party. I also applaud all members of Automobile Dealers Association, especially their leaders, for exhibiting patriotism towards the good people of Ghana, for reducing their car prices by 15% through the good governance of President Mahama and the NDC government. And we expect them same from the other traders associations, especially Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers, Meshach Asante at Amasaman Senti. That. Let me go to our Konsi Gariba from Tamale. Says, good morning, KMJ. Please ask Dr. to mention a single person name who is related to Mr. Oforiatta and bought estate land. These NEC guys should stop tarnishing people's names just to make their political party look good. The NDC administration should pay the cocoa farmers the 500 Ghana cedis or the 6,500 Ghana cedis they promised them. All right. Thanks for sending that in. Let me go to Teacher Kojo, and it says, I see this as a cool unanswered story. The salary cuts, whose pocket is it going into? The farmers or someone else? This is not going to satisfy the farmers, neither today nor tomorrow. It was an emphatic promise made to shame the then government, and now you see the mess created. What made the government increase the cocoa price, even though the inherited debt was there? Apart from farmers, the government can't do this to any serious professional organization like NAC, CTAG, UTAG, never. Farmers don't have a mouthpiece. Otherwise, this matter would not have died anytime soon. Greetings to Honorable Eric Kinana Ajman Prempe MP. So he's speaking about the cocoa farmers and the decision of the cocoa board staff and the CEO to reduce their salaries. This one says, good morning, Mr. Host. Please, Senyo should tell Awal should stop this poster. This will not be NPP to. This will not bring NPP to power. That's Moses in Nigeria. Okay.
Senyo should tell. Senyo should tell.
Awal. I think you got the name messed up. It's referring to Doc. Please, I'm Jacob Sando. Tell the NEC guy that we know them very well. He should stop saying that. Why? All right. So that's Dr. Same with us in the studio this morning. Good morning. I'm Joshua with Joshua Kwesi Ejekum. Please greet my boss for me, Major Senyo. He's doing a very good job for our party. Okay, Senyo is a mayor now. Okay, you people, it's very, very interesting. Okay, I think pretty much that'll be. There are a few of them. I'll try and read this one a bit later. But okay, let me see if I can do one from those who sent it a bit earlier. It says, Dear KMJ, please, my message may not be on your agenda this morning, but please read it for me. LI 2462 has been repealed, yet there is mining going on under the guise of licensed small-scale mining in the Miriwak Forest Reserve in Bibiani, Shienso, Bekwai municipality in the Western North region, as much as practicable, NIMOS should take notice and take action. This is not the first time I am sending this message. Good morning, dear Charles Echampon, Sashi. In the Western North region. Okay. Charles, I read the message for you, and this issue, I think you have said it severally, and the PRO of NIMOS tells me that they've been working on it, so I don't know. I need to speak to Pagasi on this issue. Good morning, I'm Eben from Kwabinya. The micro minority should stop pretending because we saw their behavior and abysmal performance in power. They should keep quiet and give way to good governance to proceed. Period. Greetings to Honorable MC Agbo of Ghana East. Okay, that's your message over there as well. Okay, you can keep the messages coming. We'll read them a bit later when we are done with the other conversation. Let's probably even delve into. I don't know if any of you want to pass a quick comment on the Crops Development Authority's proposal. Then we'll move to the LGBTQ. I think that's one of our major conversations.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Doc, just pass a brief comment on that.
Yes. I think that is a step in the right direction to improve our exports, create more jobs, and make Ghana a hub of exports, just like I rightfully said. We are seeing initiatives to increase the production or harvest or export of mango, shea butter, and what have you. You recall that when the U.S. social media streamer, when he came to Ghana, he visited a place, I've forgotten the name, where they did shea butter massage and what have you. Because of that, we have seen Nigeria putting in place measures to also grow shea butter and what have you. So I think that this is a good initiative. I have seen, beyond doubt, the President's commitment to ensure that the tree crop realizes its vision of making sure that some of these, crops and products their yield increases, they invest in them for the benefit of this country. So I'm extremely happy about it. I look forward that by the end of the 4 years, we will see that indeed major works have been done for the benefit of the state.
Very well, thank you. Before we move on to the next one, let me go on Zoom and speak to Lom Nuku Alija. He is a lawyer and energy analyst to ask a few questions on the issue of the state lands. Lom, if you can hear me, good morning.
KFJ, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks, and I'm grateful for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great. What you said, in terms of the decision of the land minister to, embark on this very reforms that he's put together?
Well, I think it's in the right direction because where we are now, I have seen that it's essentially about accountability and making sure that state lands are protected. Okay, so the directives don't even come from the minister himself, but from a cabinet decision, which means that it has been considered from the various angles, and based on what the report showed, there is a need to basically put in place measures to secure state lands. And that is very important because you will see that over the years, attempts have been made to take over state lands in such a way that it is pushing state institutions and state employees further and further away from where city centers are or where the state institutions are located. So, for example, if you cast your mind back to, let's say, maybe 20 years ago, state institutions had accommodation for key workers in town closer to where they worked in the ministries and so on. Today, all those places have been sold or bought by people who were in charge of or were given custody of state lands to hold in trust. And now you have workers having to stay in as far away as Lodowa and places like that just to come to Accra. So it shows you that our own conduct as a nation undermines the structure of even our governance system and all of that. And so for me, any review which looks at the best way to secure and protect state lands going forward is in the right direction. And I've seen also that part of the plan is to essentially take decisions on whether to allow certain transactions ahead or not. Of course, there will be legal implications there because there may be rights that are accrued and so on. So I would expect that before the land minister implements fully this directive, we've also engaged with the Minister of Justice. I've received some advice and legal opinion on the best way to navigate it from the legal perspective so that there will be minimal impact in terms of legal liability and cost for the state. But this issue is one of those that definitely all support to ensure that we don't lose this critical resource in terms of state lands to capture by individuals and companies without considering how to impact the larger society.
Very well. Lom, if you have time, I want you to stay with me. And then we want to get into the issue of the LGBTQ. And it's one of the issues that I would really want you to be on and share your thought with me. So if you have time, kindly stay with me on this very issue as well.
Sure.
Great. All right. Doc, let me start off with you.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
To be sincere with you, I have looked at a comment coming from the authorities in terms of looking for that it lands more and it will help out.
It will help in terms of the cash crops and all of that. But one thing that I'm not comfortable with is the fact that they want us, there should be a policy reform that will compel public servants to, to be planting trees. I don't know how the reform is going to be because the topic I got is to make sure that the policy reform to make sure that public servants. I bet to differ.
Crops, yeah.
Public servants, they are hired to heal, to teach, to administer, and protect. We must not dilute their core responsibilities. In the sense that, are you telling me that a doctor in this country, when we look at issue of productivity versus even symbolism. If you want to look at this issue very well, and you look at productivity versus symbolism, the doctor ratio to what we are seeing in this country today is not even being met. So you now want to legalize the tree planting for public servants, where a doctor who is supposed to be attending to a patient will have to leave their work. I think that the authority needs to come clearer, because I beg to differ, but I am of the view that we cannot dilute the core responsibility of our public servants. More importantly, when we know that their primary focus is to do healing and all of that, the doctors, they know what they are supposed to do, the nurses know what they are supposed to do. Now, you are asking us that there should be a policy reform. Already, you and I know that in this country, every year, I think twice a year or once a year, there is always a day dedicated for tree planting, true or false. Now, one of the things you have to look at is practical feasibility. You come to a place like the Volta region, where we are being told that we should make sure that public servants contribute to the tree planting. One thing we have to ask ourselves, in terms of where is the accessibility of lands? Who bears the cost of these lands? Who is going to monitor compliance? Of course, when we want to do this, we should give it a bit of a deeper retrospection to see if the policy framework will not overlap their core mandate. So for me, I think that I welcome the idea of reforms, but I think that what has been proposed for me, when you ask me, I am of the view that is just one of those things. I think Mr. Andy Okra, I have sat under his conference, one of his conferences before, somewhere 2014. I think that he should go back and do better, a policy proposal as far as the public servant is concerned. Because I cannot leave my work or add up an additional role to my work unless they want to tell me that they are going to now employ people in the public sector in every office. In the energy ministry, there will be somebody who will be planting trees. In the lands ministry, there will be somebody who is employed purposely for planting trees. In the president's office, there's somebody purposely designed to be planting trees. I don't know if that's how it's going to be, but I am of the view that it's a good call in terms of the reform. However, let's look at it again. Look at it again.
All right, yeah.
You see, there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with institutionalizing tree crop planting. You understand? You cannot come and tell me that because the core mandate of doctors is to take care of people, administer medicines, and do surgeries for people. Because of their core mandate, we must not encourage institutionalized tree crop planting. You cannot say that. When you say that, you are not being real, you are just being petty and not constructive. There are many countries in this world who have institutionalized tree crop planting. Look, when you go to Asia, they have a national agroforestry policy where at the end of every year, institutions are encouraged to plant certain kind of crops across the year.
Including public servants.
Yes, when you go to China, they have grain for grain program.
So how do they do it?
Where institutions do it. When you go to Indonesia, they have a state-backed policy where everyone is supposed to plant oil palm and rubber plantation. When you go to Kenya, Ethiopia,
that's already been,
that is there.
That's already been done.
So hold on. Let me make my point. You are saying that the tree crop system is encouraging institutions, public servants who have lands and what have you to go into planting of tree crops. And so because of that, we are overburdening them. It's not part of their mandate.
Yeah.
You cannot say that. When you say that, you are just being petty. We are encouraging the system to plant certain kind of crops so that we can increase our yield, we can increase our export. Just the same way we are yielding exports from cashew, coffee, cocoa, and what have you. You understand? So we are allowed to criticize, but we cannot under the guise of criticizing, engage in arguments that are completely bizarre and not consistent. You understand? When you say that doctors are supposed to take care of people, because of that, we are overburdening them with engaging in tree crop planting or whatever. What do you mean? What do you mean? So students go to school, they have lands they are being taught and encouraged to engage in gardening and what have you. Because of that, we are overburdening the students. What kind of argument is that? What kind of argument? Why should we encourage an argument like that?
Okay.
There's not an argument. There's not an argument. See, I think that probably my brother did not get me from the angle I came from. All that he said, this is something we are already doing. From what he read, it means that it's a practice Ghana is already doing. But in the proposal that is coming, there is a call for a legislation. When there is a legislation, it becomes a stricter issue on you. You are, compelled to do it. And I'm saying that let's look at it from a different angle. Unless the CEO wants to tell me that there is some sort of ambiguity in that. What is so bizarre about this? What is so, petty about this? As for my brother, anything you say,
legislation that no mean
it's either petty.
It is a program.
So please,
it is a program.
I was expecting that what you read
is your understanding of legislation.
I'm listening to you respectfully. When you read it, I was expecting you to tell me that Asia and the countries you mentioned, there is an allocation of a day for which they do these practices. But you just mentioned in vague that Asia does the same thing for the public sector. But in what context? Ghana does it as it stands today. The public servants do it, the private sectors, we all do it as a country. We are not regulating it to just one sector, true of us. But what they seek to now make a policy is to make sure that they clamp down the public servants. And I'm saying that
no.
The policy reform must be transparent enough because there's an ambiguity in it. Ambiguity in the sense that if I am a doctor or he is a doctor and I am a nurse, I have my primary duty to administer in the hospital. Is that to say that I have to, at one point in time, leave my primary duty?
It's not going to be an all year round thing. I'm not sure.
That is why I think that the policy reform needs to indicate because you cannot just bring out this ambiguous legislation or this vague legislation. When you were talking,
you finish.
Guys, we have a major conversation to have.
Can you allow me?
Okay.
Senyo, we have a major conversation to have. I'm not sure you guys want to.
So, no. I mean, I'm not ready for that. You see, all I want to say.
So can you just wrap up?
I am in for the planting of trees. But I think
you believe that communication on that should be clearer?
It should be clearer because when you just read what you sent to me or in terms of the topic we are discussing, I am of the view that there is vague in terms of limiting it to just the public servant in terms of the policy framework. Because at the end of the day, if there's a policy framework, it is going to regulate that aspect. So the question I ask again is, what of the private sector? So the private sector, they should not plant trees? Or the government wants to focus on just the public servant?
Okay.
These are questions we should
not the Senyo's argument is that because it's a legislation, people will be mandated to do it. It's not legislations that are mandated. The point is that the legislation simply means that it becomes a policy framework where institutions will be encouraged to undertake or embark on it. It doesn't mean that they will be caned or beaten if they are not. That's the point.
Right. Let's make progress. Let me go to Lom. Lom, let me seek some counsel from Lom. Lom, the issue of LGBT gets a second chance in Parliament again. Now, the Speaker of Parliament believes that he's looked at all the conditions and everything that has been presented to him and is ready to put it on the floor of Parliament for debate. Does it have a chance? A second chance for that matter moving forward?
No, I strongly believe so because this particular bill is one of those that has, I'll say, cross-party support and generally also national support. And so I don't think that it should have any challenge going through the process. Yes, that'll be my simple answer because I expect those who have advocated for it in the past and those who are in the current parliament, there's a sizable number that will speak this through. And so now I put back laid before Parliament and it's under consideration. It will go through the requisite steps and will be passed.
Looking at the issues, in terms of how this whole, process will pan out. In fact, there were some conversations about some of the things that were in there, how they're supposed to be, reframed and all of those things. We had those arguments also coming through and all that. Are we likely to be having a pushback from both sides in terms of the minority and the majority in Parliament?
Okay, so, like I said, there seems to be cross-party support for this bill.
Yes, but the minority stated that there were certain things in there that were a bit strict. There were, something that you could take a look at again when the conversation first came up.
Yes. So what's going to happen now is that it's been laid before Parliament. As I said, Parliament will go through the required constitutional and statutory processes.
Okay.
That also includes even inviting the public to submit memoranda and other reports and papers and so on, just to advance arguments that will be for or against the bill or sample of the bill. So that process, the public will be invited and members of Parliament, as they go through the various stages in order to pass the bill, will also be able to bring those amendments or their views to bear. So it is quite possible that a bill that has been presently may be passed in another form or shape, because the process system allows for challenges, for proposals, for suggestions, for amendments, and that's part of the legislative process. And so I expect that the two sides, those who have been advocating for this bill and those who are acting against it, will both continue to forcefully make their argument, their position for consideration by Parliament. And that will also include the various positions from within Parliament as well. Okay, so portions that require some further debate, discussion, and amendment will go to the vote at the end of the day, either through consensus or through voting. A decision will have to be made on what the final version of the bill looks like before it's.
Very well. Let me say thank you to you this morning for joining us. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much.
Great. And that's Lomnuku Aglija joining us this morning here on the show. He's a lawyer and energy analyst, also sharing with us on the issue of LGBTQ. You can also send your messages to us as well. Read them. Doc, this is something that the NDC has championed in so many ways. Yeah. In fact, we're hoping that as a last year would have been seen, some progress with this. Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't. They had to go to the Parliament House the second time again. Yeah. But are we positive?
Yes, yes, definitely positive. This is in line with the President's commitment to it on 13th January 2025 when he met the Catholic Bishop Conference when a week after he had come into government. It must be put on record that when this government came, there was no bill. There was no
anti-LGBTQ. As in the previous one that was supposed to have been.
There was no bill because that bill died with the previous government, and there was a new parliament, so there was no bill. So all the processes had to begin and what have you. We are committed to it, and I'm happy that it has been laid in Parliament this time around for all the processes to go through. You understand the point? You recall that these processes happened under the previous government.
Yeah.
In fact, it happened to a point that Parliament approved it. It was supposed to go to the President for assent. Before we could blink an eye, the President told us that there was a legal process against the bill, and so he could not sign it. At the time the President made that commitment, there was no legal process. Because he made that commitment, he made that statement even before the case was filed at the court registry. It does appear that The president knew, even before the case went to court. How? What happened? There are some people who had gone to, I mean, they were behind almost everything to make sure that the thing is followed. We had pastors, imams, traditional leaders demonstrating in the middle of Accra that the bill has kept so long. And so the president should do something about it. Nothing happened. You understand the point? But this is the dawn of a new beginning. And I'm happy that the thing has been tabled in Parliament. All the necessary processes and debates will happen. And we'll see to it that the right thing is done. That is what I can say. I can assure the people of Ghana that we will remain firm behind this bill, and we'll see that it goes to fruition.
Very well. Thank you very much, Dr. Sami. I'll come back to you, Senyo, for your take, but I want to go to Martina Bogri to get some updates with regards to the raid that happened. Martina, if you can hear me, good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. What's the update? What don't we know?
So this morning, they continue with the screening exercise of those they arrested yesterday. And then when they are done with screening, it involves immigration and other crimes. So those are supposed to be dealt with immigration. Those cases will be moved to the immigration, and those that are criminal cases will be pushed to the police for further investigation. That's what we know. I must say that when I spoke to the deputy officer yesterday, an investigation they are doing connecting with some crimes that have been committed in the metropolis. And so they were targeting some particular areas that these crimes have been committed. That was why we took place.
Okay, all right. We'll be on standby. If there's any updates, we'll come back to you for you to update us. But are there areas there that are targeting that you can let us know in terms of the rate today?
I didn't get that question.
I'm asking that are there areas they are targeting today that you can let us know?
He hasn't mentioned it, and they normally will give a heads up. They'll just be there and then they are moving it.
Okay, all right. As and when we need any updates, we'll come back to you, Martina. Thanks a lot for updating us this morning. And so there's a joint operation with the National Security Agency in Tamale, and that has resulted in the arrest of 72 suspects, including prostitutes, pimps, and some other patrons that have all been arrested. And that's the update that Martina was giving us in terms of what they are likely going to be doing today. As and when we get any of the updates, we'll let you know. But don't forget, the suspects were actually picked up from various brothels in the capital as part of a crackdown on prostitution and crime. They're currently being screened by authorities, and that's what Martina brought us some updates on. So yes, we'll keep you updated with some more when we're able to get that. Why are you excited about it?
Well, I've been hearing about this prostitution, but is there anything like that?
Why not?
I've never seen, or I don't know if I'm in a different country or a different world. I've never seen anything like that before. Sammy, why are you watching me? Sammy, why?
Well.
So I don't know. Is there anything like that?
Of course.
Wow. And how do they do it?
Yeah.
How do they do it?
It's still happening. Have you walked through the street of East Legon and
I drive to the what time? What
in all those places?
Daytime.
You've not seen
during the daytime. In
the night, you've not seen.
I've not driven to that area during the night before.
Hey, Senyo.
Yeah. Oh no, I must be sincere. I'm not driven to. So, I mean,
why don't I believe you very well?
Why you don't believe me on this?
I'm not sure you want me to believe.
Oh, no, you have to. Anyway. Charlie.
Yeah. So you take on the LGBT, and then maybe we would see if we can do some messages.
Yeah, I'm happy that this bill has been, relayed.
The second coming.
The second coming of John Mahama and the second coming of LGBTQ. Charlie, this is an interesting one. Senyo says the second coming of John Mahama and the second coming of LGBTQ bill. I swear. But like I said, I'm happy the bill has been relayed again for the second time. But one thing that I am foreseeing is that there'll be delays. See, let's not see. Yesterday, I listened to the majority's leader. He was trying to interject the minority leader, I think minority leader, Honorable Intim Fojo, that they should not go on that tangent, else there will not be a consensus. I'm like, yo, the same people who were pushing for this same bill to be passed, if the bill has been relayed, you should rather pass this bill under certificate of agency. Quick, and let it get off the radar so that we know that you are indeed ready for this bill. Because if there are other bills that could be passed under certificate of agency, even when there were, how do I call it? There were heated arguments in Parliament. Do you know that they passed about 31, bills in the last Parliament, where Mahama Yaraga will say, get up, say this, propose this. Yeah. Then the speaker will say, yes, they have it. They should propose the LGBTQ under certificate of agency. That is what I think we should do. And for me, if this government can propose this bill under certificate of agency, if they can do this, I will carry a pan of water from the Jubilee House, to the how do you call it? The 6 March Square, how do you call it? Independence Square. I will carry a pan of water from the Jubilee House to that place.
You doubt it?
Oh, come on. They won't do it under certificate of agency. They should spare us this.
But you believe that it will go through the process the president will assent to?
The process, it is the same bill. Yes, this bill is being laid for the second time. But they know the content. So what I was expecting them to do yesterday, Mr. Speaker, this bill must go under certificate of agency. I want to appeal to you. Let's all sit till 12 midnight, just as they did to the D-levy. Not to just say that the usual things. No, the bill must go under certificate of agency. And like I said, if they do that, I, Senyo Amekplenu, I will carry a pan of water on my head, dressed in my sneakers and my shorts, walk from the Jubilee House to the Independence Square, just to show a sign of respect to the members of Parliament and this government. But let's also take it from this angle. Yesterday, I was looking forward to see some of the proponents. Do you know that as it stands today?
Yeah.
There are some members who were actually part to this bill in the last government. For example, Honorable Ellen Adjua Ntosu, who was the former Voter Regional Minister. The likes of Honorable Dr. Sosu. I am reliably informed that this time around, they are not part of this again. It is now an individual who is championing this. Because the last time I listened to the majority leader, he was of the view that this is not a government business. It is a private member's bill. Now, the question I ask is that, so what is the reason for these people, the likes of Honorable Sam George and the rest who were part of this, what is the reason for them opting out this time around? Is that not hypocrisy?
Argue that they've already done the job. They've already done the work.
They've done what job? The bill has not been passed.
Yes, but going to the Parliament House, they don't have to be following it.
No, they need to be. If you want us to take you serious, if you want us to take you serious,
we're making a decision.
If you want us to take you serious, if you want us to see you as people of integrity, you must still be part. Never says die until the bones are rotten. They must be part of the process. The likes of Honorable Sam George, who were quoting big Bible quotations to us.
They haven't said they're not part of it, have they?
I am telling you that the information I got the last time.
What kind of information?
Oh, please. The last time the majority leader spoke, he said that most of his people are not more part of this again. Those people who were pushing for it. It is now the NPP. This is what he said. It is not the NPP who is pushing for it. And I want to commend the Honorable Intim Fojo, who has been very consistent. He has proven that he's a man of integrity. He has proven that he's the people's man. He has proven that he has this country at heart. He has not shifted from the goalpost. I am expecting same from the likes of the other honorable members who were equally pushing for this. This time around, they've all kept quiet. None. I don't remember the last time they spoke about it. The only thing they'll come and do to you is to throw jabs on social media, as if they still care about it. So for me, I'm happy it is back in Parliament, but we'll be monitoring it with our, key lenses. And I'll be monitoring the process personally. After some few days, I will be seeking to know in terms of those who are indeed participating. And I'm looking at the passing of this bill. It must be done by head counts. We don't want the yeah and the no. I want to appeal to the speaker that there must be a head count in Parliament. Let's know the position of every member of Parliament. Who is saying no and who is saying yes? When it happens like that, we'll know the oranges from the apples.
Okay, let me read some messages. This one says the most annoying communication on this cocoa issues is from Honorable Eric Opoku. He said the cocoa farmers are better off with the current price than the one they received during NPP time because they can buy more bags of cement than before. You see how shallow some politicians are, and that's from Kostiman in Brekum. Let me go to this one. Good morning, I'm Dr. Bill Abdul Majid from Wakresi. Ghana as a whole, we are never serious on this LGBTQ. Please, I have these few questions to ask our parliamentarians. What impact will this useless bill have on the development of this country? Is it that Ghana, we are sort of our human resource? I mean, aren't there enough male and female across Ghana where they can even be a bill passed to force to marry each other rather than this useless bill? Graduates are all over looking for jobs instead of diversion means and ways to curb this issue. We are here proposing on useless issues. Okay. There, KMJ, please, my message may not... Oh, I think I've done this already. Let me go to Sami Boache. It says that cocoa remains a vital source of livelihood for many Ghanaians' families and a key sector of the national economy. Unfair producer prices have severe consequences, starting with rural farmers and eventually affecting the entire country. This approach is unprecedented in Ghana's history, marked by insensitivity and rhetoric. It is crucial to prioritize respect for our cocoa farmers. NDC appointees are receiving their salaries, whereas farmers without access to cocoa facilities are denied the benefits and subjected to significant price cuts. Issues like LGBTQ plus galamsey, cocoa, and job creation, which the NDC used to criticize the NPP, are now proven challenging for them. This is merely the start of the greater challenges ahead, with 2028 still pending. Best wishes to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, the next president, and Samuel Osei, Sarkodie Sentin. Now, let me go to this one over here. And it says, Michael from Springtex. Good morning, KMJ. And to your panelists, please, why is minority dragging this cocoa issue after creating this mess by over-purchasing of cocoa sack and other misusing of the cocoa funds? The government have a reasonable discussion with the leaders of the Cocoa Farmers Association, and they have accepted every idea that was out of the engagement, and they asked the leaders of the cocoa farmers will explain this to the farmers to understand what it means by what it means by that reduction. So I don't see the reason why minority is dragging this cocoa issue. Having said that, 345 Ghana cedis, even the difference, the farmers received free fertilizer and coal, but the Ivory Coast are not offered those fertilizers. Thanks. Okay, let me do two more and then we'll wrap up. The plight of cocoa farmers aren't the same as John Mahama. Mr. JDM says he's a cocoa farmer. Yes, he is. Does Mahama have an alternative income? Does the farmer at Window Village have the same alternative income as our president? Absolutely no. So the value isn't the same. Obi Risuno, na Obi Riso. Blueprint writes in Sikato Kitan. Okay, Master Planner will be probably my last message. Senyo is always on fire, and it's a pleasure listening to him speak based on facts and figures. The coming back of this anti-LGBT bill in Parliament is just a plan and well-rehearsed diversional tactics by the government away from the cocoa price scam. You cannot run away from paying the 6,500 Ghana cedis per bag to the farmers. Go and pay them now. Dr. Aye is now doing the work of Sergio Ramos, but he's not a defender. He should better advise his majority members of parliament and President Mahama to sign the LGBTQ plus bill. Ghanaians don't need any long explanations now. All right, that's Master Planners who sent in that one. Yeah,
The bill is in parliament.
it is.
The members who sponsored it are still in parliament. I'm reliably informed, and I know for a fact that members who initiated it are still committed to it. Senior Reverend Team for Joe, the Honorable Sam George, all of them are committed to it. That is why it is where it is now. I know for a fact that both sides have agreed for it to be tabled once more for discussion and debates we had for subsequent approval. But you see, it is the hypocrisy of the NPP that baffles me. Do you know why? Senyo says that the bill should be passed under a certificate of agency. Where was he when their parliament took several months before they passed it? Did he advise them when they were in government to pass it under a certificate of agency? What were his comments when President Kufuor failed to assent to the bill? What were his comments? Was he in this country? Has he now suddenly realized that there is a need for this bill to be passed? You are a government that put fetters in place for the bill not to be assented to by your president, President Kufuor. He lied to this country that there was a court process at the time the bill was brought to him. Meanwhile, when he made that statement, there was no court process. But you are sitting here on this platform suddenly claiming that you love the anti-LGBT bill more than anyone. Now suddenly you have realized that there's the need for that bill to be passed. You see, the people watching us are also intelligent and educated. They know what you did as far as LGBT is concerned. They know President Kufuor's comment on LGBT when he said that when pressure comes, definitely at a point in our life, it has to be approved. That was, yes. He granted an interview in another country and he said that it's bound to happen. Yes, he said that it's bound to happen. You understand the point? Yes, but so the very people who made sure that the bill was not assented to cannot be the same people to criticize a new government that has made sure that the thing is tabled once more in Parliament for it to be approved.
Okay.
You understand the point?
That hypocrisy
this morning
must
not be encouraged.
Here on the show. Let me say a big thank you to Senyo. Senyo is the NPP Communications Team member and also joining us this morning. Dr. Sami Aye joined us. Is a presidential aide. Quick. We don't have time.
Yeah, so I want to wish my very good friend, Elom Amwako. He is the Chief Executive Officer of House of Emil, Pim Pam Clothings. Emil is a young man. His office is in East Legon. A very energetic young man who does so well. I want to wish him all the best as he's prepared for, opening up this place in the few days to come. He's a good man. If you have the chance to pass through East Legon, I think you should look out for
I will. Hello, man. Happy birthday to you, and I'll definitely.
I didn't say happy birthday.
Oh, it's what?
I said he'll be opening up his place.
So happy! Congratulations to you and the entire team. Senyo Amekplenu is NPP Communications member.
Sabi didn't want me to rebuttal him. Everybody use it for political balance. You know that, right?
It was love and Luku. Akinja also joined us here as well.
Yes,
and he's a lawyer and energy analyst. That'll be all for this morning here on the show. A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, though, folks, Papa Pafie, and also Koa Natural Fruit Juice also supporting us here on News Flash.